welcome to all of my sweet little garbanzo beans who are attracted to this reading today. So this reading is, as you can tell, as the title and the thumbnail suggests, is the way forward, is your path forward clear? So what we're going to be looking at, you can utilize this reading for any situation or just in general. Sometimes it's hard to tell if we are making slow and steady progress or if there is a blockage we are unaware of. So today, we are going to be kind of taking an in-depth look at that, finding out, is your path forward clear? If not, what are the blockages? What are the lessons you're working through? And then just any additional messages from Spirit regarding this topic. So you have 3 options to choose from today. You have option 1 with the carnelian, option 2 with the angel aura quartz. The little geode is really cute. And then option 3 with the no sleep gang cat and moon pin. So feel free to pause the video if you need more time, but when you have made your selection, go to the timestamps in the description box below, and that will bring you right to your option. Hello, and welcome to all of my little garbanzo beans who chose group 1 with the carnelian. Sorry, my nails are really bad, by the way. I don't have a good excuse. I'm not that attentive with them. So the first thing that I heard when I was selecting the little, different options for different groups was don't be afraid to be bold, right? Don't be afraid to be confident and courageous in yourself. Especially, carnelian can kind of talk about, because it's connected to the sacral chakra, it can talk about creative endeavors. But I'm almost just in general getting this is about your confidence, particularly in social settings. So this could be, trying to make new friends. This could be doing presentations, public speaking. This could be if you, excuse me, have a creative project. This could be talking about putting your creations on display. But just in general, the message here that was really coming through, regardless of, the answers that we're about to look at, is, to be confident in yourself and not be afraid to be confident in standing your ground in your authentic truth. So I have already shuffled the cards today. I did something a little different. So we are going to look first and foremost at your yes or no answer. So this is a card deck that I have that I like to use for yes or no's. And it's got like all of the, so there are 52 cards in a playing deck, so it's got all of the 50 states plus the U.S. territories, and I think D.C. So there's a state on each one, or talking about the territories or D.C. So that may be extra added confirmation for you, and they're also all different colors. So keep that in mind. So in terms of asking the question, is your path forward clear? Your answer is, ooh, okay, perfect. You guys got the King of Clubs, so this would be equivalent to the King of Wands. This is a big yes, your path forward is clear. And I love that it came out with a carnelian, because this is very much a King of Wands energy. The King of Wands is a very creative, passionate person, also an excellent entrepreneur. So if this has to do with like a creative project or starting your own business, this is really, really positively aspected. But it's so interesting we were talking about being confident, particularly in social settings, because that is the King of Wands. So this may be something that you've been working on for a long time, but you weren't really sure, like, it's kind of like, have I made it? It feels like a very fake it till you make it energy. Well, baby, you made it, so don't worry about it. So I really, really like to see that. And this is also, the King of Wands is I was going to say a master manifester, but I almost said a manager. So maybe somebody here is looking to get into a management position. But the King of Wands is a master manifester. So this is really something that you've been working on, you've been creating, and the path forward is clear for you to manifest your most deeply desired outcomes at this time. I also would say don't be afraid to network with people, because the King of Wands is like so gregarious and is an excellent networker. Don't be afraid to network with people and to share your ideas at this time, and to be able to kind of rally resources and support. So this next card was going to be, so the way I'm doing this reading today is that if your answer is a yes, this is kind of talking about the blockages you've already conquered that are making this way forward possible. And if the answer was a no, this would be like existing blockages. But because you guys got a yes, let's look at what you've kind of conquered and made it through, or what has now been cleared away, in order to make space for what it is you are asking for. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So that's so weird. I know that you guys don't know this. I'm like, I bet you it's gonna be this card. That was just for me. That made me happy. So this is All That Glitters. This is card 16, so that would reduce to a 7 in case that's important for you. So this is really a couple of things I'm seeing. Let me see if I can tilt it so you guys can see a little bit. That's a little bit better-ish. All right, that's okay. Done is better than perfect. We're good. Sorry, I'm like, she says, with Capricorn in the 6th house and Saturn in that house. Anyway, so with All That Glitters, this really tells me two things, because this card can be about people kind of wearing masks or situations being different on the surface and, you know, appearing different. One of the things I feel like you guys have really worked through in this situation that's kind of making this pathway forward clear for you is discernment. I feel like you guys have really learned kind of who's really, what I'm hearing is like who's got talent. So like if this has to do with a situation with like networking or entrepreneurship or collaboration, this is really learning like who has got the, not only the good ideas, but who's got the drive to follow them through, who's really committed to this vision, and who, you know, who is kind of more of like a flash in the pan, or it's like, you know, it's still a dream for them and not something they're actively taking steps toward. And so I feel like this is part of that process. Similarly, I feel like you guys have learned good discernment with opportunities, right? You're learning, you know, it's like kind of that concept of strike when the iron is hot. You're learning when to do that, and when something is kind of just like a flash in the pan. I'm getting the phrase fool's gold. So like when something is not really worth your time and effort. And that is a huge skill set and a huge, like a huge obstacle to overcome in this process. And for some of you, I also feel like, because this is, you know, we have the masks here, I also feel like this is learning to become very comfortable as who you are and very open as your authentic self is leading to this success. It's clearing the way forward, because you naturally, especially with this King of Wands Master Manifestor energy, you naturally will pull toward you the opportunities that are in harmony with you, that are in alignment with you, and that just saves so much time. It's like ridiculous. So this is really, really nice. We really like this. I'm actually going to swap this up here so you guys can see it. So we are also going to look at the soul lesson that you've been working through through this like process to get to this point. I want to say too, I was really chill before this, and I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. So for some of you, I really do feel like it's again that fake it till you make it. Like there might be a little anxiety still, but you're a lot more confident in yourself, and your guides really want to come through and let you know, like, yeah, you got it. Like, two thumbs up, man. You know, to let you know that like nobody's confident 100% of the time. Nobody's always got their shit on lock. It's everybody falls down. Everybody looks foolish at some point. Everybody makes a bad judgment call. What's the quote? It's something, I'm going to butcher it, so hold on to your asses. But it's something to the effect of like, what was it? Wisdom comes from experience. And what was that? Oh, shoot. No, it's wisdom comes from good judgment, and good judgment comes from bad judgment, I think. It's something like that. Experience might be thrown in there, but the whole entire point is everybody makes mistakes, and instead of looking at those mistakes as like a waste of your time, think of them as building blocks toward this success. So everything, like, it's okay to not be perfect 100% of the time. It's okay that you've made mistakes. It's okay that it's been a non-linear path to get here. That shouldn't make you doubt yourself at all, because you do have these skills, this confidence. You have something to say to people with the carnelian. You have something to express. You have something to make and create and put out in this world. And I'm looking at the little dice here with like the snake eyes on it, and I don't know why I'm like, you're one of a kind. Like you have a unique perspective and a unique presence that other people would benefit from. And don't doubt that for a single second, especially if you've been brave enough to take the mask off and be something a little bit different. This is, I feel like for some of you, if that's the case, this has really, sorry, I know I was going to flip a card and I'm like channeling now. For some of you, if this has really been like a continuing, sorry, there's a little fly. out of the way. If this has really been like a continuous stumbling block for you, I feel like there is this like trepidation about being really authentic to who you are, and your team really wants you to know that what was once a deficit is now becoming an asset for you. So to have confidence in what you're bringing to the table, because not only is it good, but it's also necessary. Sorry, I have this one little fruit fly in here, and I've been trying to get him to leave. I've asked him politely many times, and he has yet to respond. It's very, very irritating. Anyway, so this is going to really talk about the lessons that you've been working through in this process. Let's see what you got. Trust. I love it. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Yes. So again, this is very much this discernment energy we were talking about as well. Really learning to recognize good opportunities. And I feel like for a lot of you too, if you do struggle with that confidence, this is learning to trust that being yourself will never be a misfire, is what I'm hearing. It's never going to be a bad idea to be your authentic self. But, you know, also, like I said, really learning to trust your gut instinct, learning to trust your discernment, your inner knowing about opportunities and people is going to serve you well moving forward. And with the 7 over here, this has been also a spiritual lesson, is like learning how to recognize what's for you and what's not. So I also pulled 3 tarot cards. Let's see what you guys got, and we'll kind of dig a little deeper. Oh, you got the 10 of Cups reversed, honey. You got the Page of Wands. Oh, we love that. Beautiful. And then we got the 6 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so let's see what I feel like. I just bumped a bunch of stuff. So with the 10 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles reversed, I feel like some of these things may have come from childhood. You know, especially with the 10 of Cups reversed, you may have had kind of like a lot of stuff going on in your family when you were growing up. And I feel for many of you, your needs, and I'm also hearing your talents, were put on the back burner. And, you know, this doesn't have to be a family situation. This could also just be your past experience. But in general, with the 10 of Cups reversed, this is total emotional fulfillment. And like the 6 of Pentacles is all about like generosity and reciprocity. So because those 2 are reversed, I feel like you've often had your stuff kind of put on the back burner or pushed off to the side. And it's always been like about something else, about someone else. And I feel for many of you, this is kind of just like circumstance. It's not, it wasn't like specifically about you or intentional, but it obviously still had a major impact. You know, the 10s are also all about completion of a cycle. So this is kind of the energy that there was this cycle of, I'm kind of feeling like having like your like dreams dashed. And maybe dashed is the wrong word. But it's kind of like having your happiness dissipating, having your happiness taken away a little bit. And again, this could have been in the context of family. It does not have to be. But I feel like this kind of threw you off balance. This threw you out of whack. And again, there's this big energy here of like having to put your own stuff on the back burner. And like losing your confidence, right? So I feel like there either was a situation that was very established where there was a lot of happiness, there was a lot of give and take, there was a lot of reciprocity, and that this kind of the bottom sort of fell out of this, or this was something that maybe you didn't have, especially growing up, and that's kind of put you at this consistent deficit throughout your life that you've had to work to overcome. And this is also part of this energy here too, is really being able to like understand who is supporting you and who is not, right? Like, I'm really getting for a lot of you to like become very comfortable with the idea that what you want matters just as much as what other people want. Your needs matter just as much as other people. Your talents and what you have to say and what you want to create is just as important and just as valid as anybody else's dreams, right? And especially if you've kind of put a lot if you put a lot of your own stuff on hold to make other people's happiness and other people's dreams come true, I feel like this might resonate extra hard. But with this Page of Wands, this is really talking about how this cycle has been cleared away. You have worked through these issues, and you have really learned to trust in yourself and trust in what you have to say, trust in your vision. And as a result, this beautiful new spiritual cycle is starting. And I love that we have the Page and the King, because it's like this beautiful energy of like spiritual maturity as well as this like almost childlike innocence, right? That you've like achieved this beautiful evolution, and as a result, you're getting to start this new journey because you now have the skills to be able to walk this path that you did not have before, that were being overshadowed by wounds and other issues before. Yeah, that's pretty much what I am seeing here, so it is the way path, is the path forward clear? Abso-freaking-lutely. Just remember to stay grounded in yourself. Trust in your intuition, especially. Trust that, we have a lot of wands energy here too. So like, I feel like you, if you were drawn to this pile, you might be a more advanced soul, or you might be a little bit more spiritually gifted. You might have a very prominent spiritual gift like claircognizance, especially, where you just have this like inner knowing. You may also have clairvoyance and have like this beautiful creative vision that you just feel drawn to. Trust those intuitive impulses, whether it's about people, situations, timing. Trust that, because you have reached this point of spiritual evolution that you now no longer need, what I'm hearing is you don't need to ask. Excuse me. And for some of you too, I feel like, this is a little side note, for some of you, I feel like you're used to asking spirit a lot for signs, and maybe you haven't gotten them as much lately and it's freaking you out. And your team kind of just wants you to know that if you've been getting fewer signs than usual lately, the reason why is because you don't need them as much. You've graduated, you've grown, you've matured, and you now have the intuitive skills and powers to be able to kind of guide and direct yourself more often than not. So it doesn't mean that you'll never get signs and synchronicities. You can always ask spirit for that, but you might not get as many, or it just might not come up as much, because more often than not, you're way more attuned to your intuition than you were prior. So it's kind of like training wheels on a bike a little bit, is the image they're showing me. Like you could keep them on, but at some point you just don't need them anymore. And this is kind of the energy that they're bringing to me. It's like, I feel like a lot of you, if you were drawn to this group, you had some really difficult experiences and it caused you to really doubt yourself a lot. And they're saying there's no need to. You can be confident moving forward now because you've learned the lessons and you have everything you need to create exactly what it is that you're desiring. So I hope this has been helpful. If you are looking for more personal guidance, please feel free to check out my numerous readings. My Etsy shop is, the link for my Etsy shop is in the description box down below. I'm also happy to make custom readings. So yeah, I think that's just about everything I have. I am super duper happy that I got the chance to read for you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm wishing you all the best, the brightest, the most beautiful things that life has to offer, darling. Take care. Hello and welcome to all of my sweet little garbanzo beans who are attracted to group 2 with this lovely angel aura quartz geode. Oh my god. She is so beautiful. I love it. I haven't named her yet. I should though. So if you have suggestions, leave them in the comments because this is a collaborative community, my folks. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at the question, is the path forward clear? Is the way forward cleared for me? And this can really apply to any situation in your life. Sometimes we have moments where it's like, all right, slow and steady wins the race, but am I actually making progress forward? So sometimes we don't know if we need to kind of just keep working at it and hanging on, or if there's like a blockage that we're missing. And this is really meant to look at that. So we have a card that's going to be your yes or no answer. We have a card that is going to, if you get a no, this is going to talk about the blockages. If you get a yes, this is going to talk about the blockages that you've already worked through. We have Soul's lesson cards to talk about the lessons that you're working through this process, and then tarot cards to kind of look a little deeper. So this is what we got lined up for today. Okay, so is your path forward clear? Actually, before I even start, I forgot to mention, while I was sort of like premeditating, or no, in the premeditation, I was close, you guys. An attempt was made. Something I got from this crystal in particular, this situation is, we're going to look at this and we're going to look at like the blockages and everything, but this situation is at least in part out of your control. And I know that nobody wants to hear that. Especially I feel like if you came looking for this reading, there's an element of empowerment here, wanting to understand what you need to do next. But there's an element of this situation where it's out of your control, but it's also being heavily protected by your angels and your guides, your other members of your spiritual team. So there are going to be things where I feel like you're trying to zig and the situation is going to zag. There's going to be situations where like, or you're being guided to do something and it might feel counterintuitive. I feel like there's like a lot of almost like Piscean energy. It's like there's just confusion here, but your team really wants you to know that amidst the confusion and this seemingly the chaos, there is order, even if you can't fully see like the entire picture yet. So looking at your yes or no answer, you have, okay, sorry, I got really excited. You have the 6 of Cups. This is beautiful. So this would be a yes. The way forward is clear. Hang on, I'm trying to see if I can. Is it gonna? All right, that's as good as we're gonna get, and that's pretty good. I like that. So you have the 6 of Cups. So you could be asking about a relationship in particular. The 6 of Cups is a soulmate energy. This also could be talking about children, so if there's anything revolving around children, but this is a very like positive, yes, the way forward is clear. And partially the reason why is the 6 of Cups can also talk about, like I said, soulmate energies, but also past lives, and it can talk about like past life soul contracts, as well as things from childhood or adolescence kind of popping up. So the reason why the path forward is clear is because I feel like this group, you've worked through some karmic contracts, and these either could be from the past in this lifetime or from past life situations where people, so I'm getting for some of you, if you are drawn to this group, a person who feels significant to you may have just like recently exited your life, or you've had to part ways with them. And this could be somebody you have a lot of history with in this life, or even if you haven't known them long, the connection feels very established, like you feel like you've known each other forever. And I feel like this person may have just exited your life for whatever reasons or again circumstances kind of pulled you apart, and this is because there was a soul contract here that has been resolved. It's been completed, and it's now able to be released so you can both experience other energies. But yeah, in general, what I'm seeing is that this is a yes because there's been a lot of this work, especially around like inner child healing or very, very old soul lessons, I guess, that have been worked through. You've done the work essentially, and I feel like this is with another person. This person is likely somebody who I'm hearing you're very sweet on. You have a lot of affection for. It's really nice, and they have a lot of affection for you too. There's a lot of pink here, so there's like a lot of heart chakra energy. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with, this would be, like I said, the equivalent of the 6 of Cups. Those of you who are unfamiliar with the 6 of Cups, it's usually a little boy giving a little girl a cup full of flowers. It's the cutest little thing. So this is like a very innocent, sweet love. I always say it's, it's the love you have before you realize that love can sometimes bite you in the ass. Because I'm not jaded and bitter at all. It's fine. No, but it's so sweet. It's so lovely. And for some of you, I'm getting, as I'm talking about this, this situation is coming back around full circle. So if somebody from your past comes back and you're asking like, hey, is this like, are there going to be the same problems as last time? No. And something to keep in mind too is with the traditional 6 of Cups, when the little boy is giving the little girl the cup of flowers, the hand he's offering it to her with is uncovered. She has mittens on, but his hand is uncovered. So to me, whenever I see that, this is like if somebody makes you an emotional offer, they're doing so, with an open hand, like, they're not hiding anything. It's a very genuine offer. So for some of you, if somebody, and I feel like if somebody's coming back around from the past, this is like deep past. Like you haven't seen this person in like 10 years kind of a thing. Yeah, so let's take a look at your blockages that were worked through. Oh my freaking God. All right, well, I'm gonna have a heart attack. It's fine. And I'm also getting to, for some of you, if you've been looking for your soulmate, this person is about to come in. And the reason why is because you've worked through other relationship challenges, or you've had I feel like if you pick this group and this is kind of resonating, you may have had a lot of karmic relationships, and it's kind of like, Jesus Louises, when is it going to be my turn? Well, congratulations, because it's about to be your turn. I'm really excited for you. But no, like all levity aside here, I feel like this is because you've really done a lot of the work, right? We have 41, which reduces to a 5, so this is kind of the number of changes and challenges, but we have a 5 and a 6. So things are both, I feel like, both moving forward and wrapping up. It's the weirdest feeling. And for some of you, I feel that this soulmate is about to come in. For a lot of you, I feel like either is about to come in or has recently come onto the scene. If this is a new person in your life and you're asking like, hey, is the way forward, is this relationship, the path toward this relationship clear? This is a big yes. And the reason why is because like you guys have this like past life bond. You guys have this sweetness. You guys have this fondness and this affection for each other. And I feel you both have been on this journey to find each other, right? We got the key and the heart right here with these little penguins. But you've been on this journey to find each other, and I feel like you've done a lot of the work, and I feel like you both now have a better grasp and understanding about yourselves in relationships, so much so that there's going to be fewer problems this time around. Whatever came between you before, whether in this life or another life, is not going to be the situation. It's just not going to play out like that. And, it's worth also mentioning not all soulmates are romantic. This could be talking about soul tribe, like a really, really solid friend. But no matter what, this is like you're coming into greater unity, into greater harmony with, I feel like it's mostly one other person, to be honest. Although it could be a couple people, but I'm mostly feeling like one other person who just gets you at a soul level, whether this is, a family member, a friendship, a romance. And this is because you've done the work. This is because you've released these soul contracts. And for some of you too, this also, like I was kind of talking about, can mean that people have just recently exited your life, or that you've been doing a lot of like emotional purging and release work, and it's to make room for this new energy coming in. So let's see what y'all have been working on. You got, courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, boo. Let's see if I can stack them up like this. And then you guys got 2, and no other group got 2 of these. Oh, friendship. Oh, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Okay. Let's talk. So we have a lot of pink and purple here. This is like a lot of like very psychic and emotional energy. I like to see that. So we did get friendship, like I talked about. This could be talking about a friend. No, there's this one little fruit fly in my room, and he won't leave. Ah! Okay, that backfired. All right. Nobody look. Nobody look. Okay. All right. You know what? All right. I'll just deal with him. He's my new roommate, I guess. I've been trying to politely ask him to leave all day, and he has not responded, and it is just frustrating. Anyway. So yeah. We do have friendship here. We just talked about how the fact that this doesn't have to be romantic. For some of you with courage and friendship coming out, I know this isn't exactly like the soul lessons work through here. For some of you, this is a friend that it's turning romantic, and I feel like there is fear about that. Maybe you guys have like tried to date before and that didn't work. Maybe you've known this person since childhood, so this is like a really like there's a lot riding on this. Like if you guys tried to date, you're like blowing up this really important friendship. But this also could be, like I said, somebody from your past, and now you're like friends again, but you're like thinking about trying to turn it into something more, or there's something like that. But what you've been working through is these 2 things. Sorry, I'm trying to like straighten it out. Oh, beautiful. The lessons you've really been working through revolve around this idea of courage and friendship. So understanding, it says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I feel like there is this sort of, like we talked about, energy you've been working through of old soul contracts, of really having a series of maybe a little more challenging friendships or relationships. And this has been, excuse me, a major learning opportunity for you at a spiritual and emotional level. And I feel like you guys are coming into the awareness of that. And especially with this image too, understanding how everything is interconnected, understanding how all the pieces fit together. And then we have 2 kind of like circular images here too. So it's like something has come full circle. Something has finally completed itself. And I feel like with this courage card coming out as well, it says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. I feel like this is really, there may be issues that had to be resolved around, I'm hearing like codependency, as well as, like I said, I feel like a lot of you, if you chose this group, you've had very challenging interpersonal connections, or you've had a lot of like karmic relationships, a lot of karmic contracts. And this is because I feel like there are a lot of things about relationships in general that maybe in past lives or even earlier in this life, it was like there was a struggle to understand. There was a struggle to like, there's a lot of like fear-based energy, and it had to be worked through. And it's kind of this energy now of like you can almost return to innocence because you've kind of seen and done everything, and it's kind of it's all come full circle. And I feel like if you chose this group, you understand what a true soulmate is now, right? You understand what it is and what it isn't. It's because you've had all of these challenging experiences, or maybe this is like a couple of karmic relationships that were just very, very intense. Yeah, let me see what you got for tarot, because I feel like there's something else here, but I'm struggling to get it. Let's see what we got. Okay, yeah, we have 8 of Cups. That is not a surprise. We have, the 9 of Wands. You guys, what's going on? And then you have Strength. Haha! I find the inner strength. Yes, you do. I find it right here. Oh my god, these little cats are so cute. Oh my god. Okay, so sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get this. So you have 2 8s, first of all, which normally I associate with manifestation, but in this situation, if you flip an 8 on its side, it's the infinity symbol. And so there's this inherent interconnectedness, again, coming full circle, understanding the cycle of relationships. So what I feel like has happened is that I was almost picking up on like this like codependent or like maybe like anxious, preoccupied attachment style energy off of this, because the 8 of Cups is about walking away from something, right? The 8 of Cups is about walking away from something or someone where you really poured your heart and soul into it. Blood, sweat, and tears. You really invested a lot of time, energy, emotional energy, labor, resources. You've invested a lot in this thing, and you still have some type of emotional attachment to it. But the 8 of Cups happens because there's the recognition that you have to leave behind what's no longer serving you in order to go pursue your dreams, right? Because the person on the 8 of Cups always walks away to find the 9 and 10 of Cups. So personal, like a personal wish fulfillment and then total emotional fulfillment. And with the image on this version of the 8 of Cups, you guys look, it's got the little cat walking away from the boy petting the dog. So for some of you, this was a situation where maybe somebody, cheated on you, or somebody, because we have cat and dog, so it's not like it's another cat. It's this energy of like somebody wanted someone totally different. And I feel like for this group, I'm almost picking up this energy that this happened to you, and then like you've been kind of, I don't know, like this happened to you and you sort of just like put up with bad behavior, and there is this turning point where you walked away from this situation. So again, maybe somebody and this could be a friend, romance, family member, maybe somebody was like not giving you the appropriate respect that you deserve. And as I said that, by the way, it was 15:51 on my camera clock, in case that is significant for anyone. But somebody wasn't giving you the appropriate respect you deserve. You could have really invested a lot, especially you could have invested a lot in a friendship, hoping it would turn into something romantic, and it did not. But there's this energy of like somebody was maybe picking someone or something else. Somebody was like somebody didn't pick you, and I feel like the first time around, maybe you like kind of compromised your personal integrity to try to get this person to to see your value and see your worth, because I feel like there was this fear of walking away, and this could come from a fear of being alone. This could come from a fear of being rejected, of a fear of never finding anyone again. It's going to be different for everybody, but I feel like there was this fear of walking away because there is this implication, because look, this cat's walking toward these other cats. I think it's interesting. There's multiple people in this card. Well, multiple people in this card and one person here. But there was this recognition that walking away from this thing was going to be hard with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior card. It's where you've just been through the ringer. You've been through a whole bunch of shit, and you're just kind of like, all right, come at me. It's also about perseverance, though. And so this is what I feel like is happening, is that there was these really challenging soul connections in your life. And again, I feel like for many of you, there are at least two major ones, and they're mirroring each other, if not like one that came around multiple times. So this also could be somebody where they kind of like strung you along, or they were like, there's like this, you put in a lot of time and effort or something like that, and then they ended up making a different choice, and they came back around again later on to kind of like try the same old routine. And I say this with a grain of salt. Sometimes we all do just make mistakes, and we learn our lesson when we come back around. Our offer is sincere. So I'm kind of sorry, I'm seeing two scenarios here. This could be somebody where they kind of, they pulled this in the past, and then it's coming back around, and now they're doing like the same moves. And if their approach is the same, this is what Spirit is saying, is that like, I feel like this, if their approach is the same, this is something you've already dealt with, right? And the second time around, you walked away from this person instead of like waiting on them or anything like that. So you walked away from this person. For some of you though, I feel like this is a person from the past where they made a different choice, or they took things in a different direction, and it led you to have to walk away. And if that's the case and this person comes back around, I feel like their offer is going to be very genuine. If that's the case as well, I feel like it's because you guys spent some time apart. But regardless of how this resonates, there is this situation that I feel like eventually you learned that you had to walk away from. And I think this was so hard because, like I said, with the Nine of Wands, this forced you to face your fears, also with the Strength card as well. Because the Strength card is really about taming your inner demons and learning to kind of like work with yourself as opposed to against yourself. And also like really like kind of get a good grip, a good handle on what's going on with you emotionally, because this is, heart chakra energy, the card of the sacred heart, and learning to reconnect to your emotional strength and know that when it comes to interpersonal relationships, no matter what comes your way, you can handle it, right? Yeah, and just like having that understanding. And so, whatever this situation may be for you personally, the answer is yes. Your path ahead is clear because you've really been, no matter how this resonates and unfolds specifically for each of you, you've really been doing the work. And I feel like, again, there was this very pivotal moment where you walked away from someone or something that you thought you could never walk away from. And I feel like this was so hard for you because you had to, especially too with the little kitten and then the larger cat, this may have triggered up childhood wounding, or like I mentioned before, attachment style related issues and wounds. And I feel like this was really hard. It really forced you to kind of face yourself. It forced you to face what you were the most afraid of. And I feel like as a result of doing all this work and resolving all of this, relationship karma, this past life karma, these past life issues, these soul contracts, you are now free to move forward. The path ahead is clear. And I feel like, again, too, with this kind of, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. There is greater understanding about why you have experienced what you've experienced that's kind of coming in. And again, I think this is going to be really important. This is going to be kind of happening more because we talked about this with the opening message, which is that so there are things here that aren't in your control, but it's being very heavily watched and guided, because I feel like this person who's either coming back into your life or who's coming into your life is very, very important and significant to your journey, and will probably walk with you for quite a while. And as a result, your spiritual team is working really heavily with both of you to make sure that this not only happens, that you meet this person or you come back into union with this person, but that this happens, I'm hearing, the right way this time. So there may be something that you're like destined to do together or work on together. There's more at stake than just this connection and the lessons that you're set to learn from it, essentially, is what I'm getting. So So yeah, to sum it all up, yes, your pathway is clear because you have done the hard work. And if this situation in particular really resonates with you, I know you probably don't need my validation, but I want you to know I'm proud of you because this is really challenging work to do, but it's really important and very rewarding. You're building a really good emotional foundation for yourself, and everything else that you receive, that you get, that you experience on your path is going to be better for it, right? You know, when you're built up on a sturdy foundation, you have solid, secure structures in your life, if that makes any sense. So I hope this has been helpful. If you are looking for help with your specific situation, please feel free to check out any of my readings. My shop link is in the description box below. And with that, I'm going to move on to group 3. Thank you for being here, and I'm wishing you all the best, the brightest, the most beautiful things that life has to offer, darlings. Take care. Hello, and welcome to all of my sweet little garbanzo beans who chose group 3 with this cute little pin. This is the no sleep gang. Look at her. Oh goodness. So cute. So the first thing I was getting, before I even get into your cards, just from that, like when I picked up this pin to serve as the object representing the energy of group 3, is that this is likely something that you've been kind of stressing out about, with the no sleep gang. I feel like also too, this is something where you might be prone, whether you're normally like this or not, to be like staying up late a lot lately. Because I almost get this feeling like you're more open and receptive to intuitive messages when the rest of like the daily life kind of noise has filtered out. So this might be something that you've been doing a lot lately. You might be staying up late and kind of like liking to make quiet space, or liking to try to, write or journal, be creative. You might just find yourself up late thinking about things more often. But like I said, this also can kind of mean that there's a little bit of anxiety. This kind of gave me like a 9 of Swords vibe, that there's a little bit of anxiety about this situation. And like I've said for the other groups, we're asking the question, is the path forward, is the way forward clear for me? And so, this is a general reading. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody, but you can use this for any situation and kind of figuring out, sometimes we're like, hey, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Is the path like clear and it's just taking longer, or am I missing something? So we're really going to dive into that today. So I do have your card with your yes or no answer. I have a card to look at blockages. Now, if you end up getting a no, this will talk about current blockages. If you get a yes, this will talk about blockages that you've already worked through. We have a soul lesson card to kind of look at what soul lessons that you've been working through in this process. And then we have some tarot cards to kind of dig a little deeper. So let's start with your yes or no. So is the path forward clear for you? Is the way forward clear? What's going on? Okay, interesting. So we got a no. This would be the equivalent of the 10 of Swords, because it's the 10 of Spades, which is really, really interesting that we said this with the 9 of Swords vibe. So the 9 of Swords, this is this energy of like sleepless nights, insomnia, because the person is up all night worried about something. And this is why the 10 of Swords, I think, can kind of, well, no pun intended, kind of like cut like a knife so hard, is that it's already been preceded by the 9 of Swords. So there's already been this period of anxiety and like worry about this situation, right? The nice thing here is that the 10 of Swords is, all 10s are about the completion of the cycle okay. All right, Sanessa, let's back up, shall we? All 10s are about the completion of a cycle in the tarot. So, and the 10 of Swords is particularly challenging. If you're familiar with the traditional tarot, it is a dude and he's laying face down and he has 10 swords in his back, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's really about, it's like things are the worst they can get. It's about betrayal. It's about feeling stabbed in the back. It's just like something that is like finito, done, without the chance of resurrection. It's just like kaputskis. And it's a tough energy to have, and to be working through. But the silver lining of it is that things are as bad as they're ever going to get. So with these two coming out together, I feel like this is something where, is the path forward clear? No, but I think it soon will be, right? Because this is the 10, and because this means like, okay, something is about to end or is in the process of ending, and you'll know if this has already happened. Again, even with this Nine of Swords vibe, even if this hasn't happened yet, you can sense it coming. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't wanna set you up for disappointment later. This might be a little bit challenging. This might be tough, right? If you're going through this, you'll know it, because it's like it's very painful. It's very difficult. It's something that's on your mind a lot. It's something that it's really hard to not obsess over a little bit. And this is, again, Nine of Swords vibe. Like, it's a little hard not to obsess over. It's a little hard not to be like, well, could I do anything different? What's gonna happen? Like, this is just really like, this is stressing you the hell out. And I'm really sorry about that, honey. This is the worst the situation's ever gonna get. And so, like, and honestly, I honestly think with the 9 and 10 of Swords, even worse than what actually happens is just the fear of it happening, right? Because there's this worry of like, oh my God, what if this happens? What if this happens? And like, this is the worst it's gonna be. Like, I tell this all the time, but like, when I think of the 10 of Swords, there's one time I was in 7th grade and I was in my 7th grade math class, and I had the handheld pencil sharpener, and I was just like sharpening my pencil at my desk, and the little handheld sharpener flew out of my hand and landed on the ground, burst open, and just pencil shavings everywhere. And I was an anxious kid and adult, honestly, but I was like a super, especially socially anxious kid. So I dropped to the ground. I start furiously like picking all the pieces up, and my math teacher comes over to help me, and I just like started apologizing profusely. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I did that. And he just like was so chill about it, and he was like, hey, it's okay, you know what, it can't go any further than the floor. And I know it's like a little tiny thing, but I appreciate that so much. I still think about that, and it's, like 20 years later, pretty much. Oof, that feels bad to admit. But yeah, 20 years later, and I still like appreciate that so much. And this is at least the nice part of this energy, is this situation can't go any further than the floor. It doesn't really get worse. It only really gets better. So let's kind of look at the blockages then, for, why the way forward isn't clear yet. Oh, okay, so you guys got happy. This is card 26, so that reduces to an 8. Wow, okay. So, you know what I'm almost kind of feeling here? With these coming out the way they are coming out, and I'm gonna put the lesson card in the middle, and because we have the spade kind of pointing here, this sort of blockage may also be very tied up in the lesson here. But with the blockage being happy, and with it being the 10 of Swords, what I'm almost kind of feeling is that this situation just has to work itself out. Actually, so much so that I'm gonna flip this card now, because I feel like this is pertinent. So, growth. Oh shit. Okay. I also really like, well, hang on. This says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. I really like that there are similar color schemes here, but they're almost reversed, right? We have a little bit of yellow, a lot of blue. We have a lot of yellow and a bit of blue. Okay, I see what's going on here. I'm really glad I waited to flip this. So in terms of blockages, I don't think that there are any blockages that you can specifically do a whole lot about. This situation was going to happen. This situation needed to happen in order for you to find your happiness. And so I think that's interesting that came out for blockage. And she's also sitting on an egg, because I feel like you've been wanting to grow for a while. You've been wanting to expand. You've been wanting to change, right? It says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And with the sword suit being all about the mind and communication, sorry if you could hear my knee crack, this is very much in that energy. What I'm feeling for a lot of you is that there was almost this like blockage to being happy. There's whatever this situation is, this situation needed to be cut out of your life in order to get you to where you want to go, in order to help you grow and to expand into what you're trying to grow into. And I feel like what I'm hearing is it feels like a punishment. It feels like something you're really anxious about. It feels like something you don't want to happen, and that might be very, very true. But with all the stars and the rainbow here too, this is how we get to that kind of like expansive energy, and we're in alignment, and this is also part of your path, right? And with the star kind of energy, this is the thing that you've been wishing for, but I feel like it's kind of cloaked in disaster is what I'm hearing. This is what you've been asking for. This is what you've been wishing for. This is what you've been wanting to move toward. Because I'm also noticing we have like this square and a circle here, right? And so I feel like there's this desire to expand and have a greater awareness, right? And and also expand past this cycle of challenges, because squares are all about, they can be about stability, it can be about this really sturdy energy, but as a result too, it can be about this very stagnant or frustrated energy. And I feel like you guys have been stuck where you are. And again, there's like almost this flipping of the color palette here, which I love. And we also have blue and yellow right here too. I love it. I feel like you've been stuck where you are, and you've been wanting to evolve for a while. You've been wanting to kind of get out of where you were for a while. And as a result, what's going on right now, these are growing pains. And so the path forward isn't clear yet, because this situation's got to go. I wish I had a more tactful and loving way to say that. But that's what they're telling me. So I'm going to give that to you. And I feel like for some of you, you understand this, and there's just fear about letting it go, and that makes sense, right? But some of you, it feels like there's this like almost more anxiety about the thing happening than the thing itself. Again, so maybe there's this understanding, like, let's say, I'm just throwing out an example. Let's say, like, you know, you really wanted to, you wanted to be more in alignment with your career path, right? You wanted to do something that resonated with you more. This might be this kind of energy of, it almost has like a tower moment feeling a little bit. This might be this energy of like, you've been thinking about leaving your job to go pursue a different career path, and maybe they start doing like cutbacks at work. They start, laying people off. This would be like the fear of being laid off, even though you know that this might be a blessing in disguise, right? So there's something like that, where there might be this opportunity that it's like an opportunity for growth, and you can recognize that, but there's still fear around this ending, and that's okay. That makes sense. I love that. I'm like, I feel like this is pointing towards something, but I don't know what. And then we found this. That's perfect. So your team really wants you to know that whatever this situation is that you're asking about, if it's challenging or if it soon becomes challenging, the blockage really here is the situation itself, because it's blocking your happiness, right? We have, again, this egg image. And there's your happiness wants to kind of burst forth. It wants to hatch, right? But it needs to, it's kind of like the way that like you have to let baby birds hatch naturally, because them getting out of the egg is part of what strengthens them enough to survive outside of it. It's kind of like that energy a little bit. Like your happiness, what would truly make you happy and be in alignment with you, is trying to kind of come into your life. But it requires that we get rid of what is impeding that process and that progress. And we make space for it, right? I always use this analogy where, like, imagine your energy is kind of like your desk. If you have too much stuff in your energy field, it's like a messy desk, right? You eventually run out of room. You can't bring anything new in. You have to kind of reorganize and make it into a comfortable working space, as well as, make space for new things to come in. As you can tell probably from that example, my desk is incredibly messy. So that one hits home in a real way. But let's look at your tarot and kind of get a better feel. You guys also got an extra tarot card, which I thought was interesting. So you guys got the Seven of Wands. Yep, I could see that. I like how, look at this little mean mugging boy. He gonna slap ya. He's gonna slap ya. Also looks like he's got the little gaucho pants on. Okay, so you got, the Ace of Cups reversed. Okay. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Love it. Okay, I love this. And the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so right here we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, in case that is significant for you. I think it's interesting we have another 10 here as well. So with the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups reversed, I feel like this is likely something that's interpersonal, just because the cup suits represents your emotions. But this is also something, this could be something that you're very, very emotionally attached to. This feels like this is something where an offer is either not being made, or an offer is like being pulled off the table. An offer is being redacted. Just because we have these two right here, right? The Knight always brings forward his cup to offer, and we have, the Ace of Cups, and they're both the reverse cards. So this feels like something either, fell through. This offer was, I'm actually going to move these over here. Something either fell through and this offer was taken off the table, or maybe it just didn't pan out at all. And I'm almost looking at, like, this cat looks like he's just totally ignoring the Ace of Cups entirely. This is something where And again, with the 9-10 of swords kind of vibe, I feel like this is something you've been worried about for a while. This could be a situation where there is a lot of potential for connection, whether this is romantic, friendship, a good coworker. And I feel that this situation went sour really quick with this version of the 7 of Wands, right? So this is kind of the energy of like, excuse me, somebody being really, really defensive. In the traditional 7 of Wands as well, it's a guy with a wand and he's fending off 6 other wands. He's up on this little hill. He's got 2 different shoes on. And like this kind of represents how he has had to kind of like scramble to react and to defend himself. But ultimately he has, the higher ground, the upper hand here. So what I'm kind of getting from this imagery, there is this situation where I feel like this is another person. Again, it's like things were going well and then they just fell apart, or like something happened, or maybe maybe you made like what felt like a misstep somewhere, and like whatever this is, it feels like things looked like they were going one way and then the energy just totally flipped, right? And this person, because the Knight of Cups upright, he's very loving, he's very effusive, he loves love. He's, got his heart on his sleeve, but he's reversed. And this little dude looks like he's gonna slap you. So this also could talk about like a relationship where things, also seem like they would be really loving, really supportive. And then there's a lot of fights, a lot of defensiveness. There's a lot of uncertainty, insecurity. Whatever this may be, I feel like it had a lot of emotional promise, and then it kind of just disintegrated into this bullshit is what I'm hearing. It just kind of like turned into like, again, defensiveness, not really being sure what's going on, feeling like you kind of can't get on solid ground. It's like not knowing what's happening. And I'm almost getting 2 things from the Wheel of Fortune here. I'm getting that again, we have another 10, so this is the completion of a cycle. But this situation that seems really shitty is actually a blessing in disguise. It's actually the wheel moving in your favor. Because I feel like this person or this situation is not as nice as they want you to think. I feel like they're showing their true colors. And there's this energy of like, I feel like it leaves you questioning yourself. It leaves you feeling like, well, did I do something wrong? What happened? Like, and that's not at all the case. So I don't know. I feel like this situation has recently been or soon will be taken out of your life, and it's going to feel like an ending, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. It's actually like the wheel moving in your favor, as well as if you've already kind of gone through this and you've dealt with this and you've kind of had to like, defend yourself against this situation, this person. I feel like the wheel is turning for you. And I feel like the wheel is turning for you no matter what, whether this has already happened or not, right? So if this has not happened, this person kind of exiting your life is actually like a blessing. This is serendipity. This is Jupiter and Leo. So this is fate working on your behalf. But, regardless of whether this has happened or not, this is saying that good things are coming in, right? And I feel like too, because whatever this situation is, it was out of balance. Because look, this cat's like right in the middle of the wheel. And the thing with the Wheel of Fortune is it's kind of like sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. And when it's, upright, this is saying, hey, things are about to move in your favor. Woohoo! And when it's reversed, it's kind of saying, don't sweat it too hard because, nothing stays the same. So try to find balance in the fact that, sorry, I have one fruit fly and you won't get out of my room. But try to, remain balanced in the knowledge that everything has cycles. Everything needs to move in those cycles and according to those cycles. So you're never going to be stuck in something unpleasant for too long. And this is very much about growth, right? Again, expanding out of where you were in order to find something that's more in alignment with you. So yeah, is the path forward clear? Not yet, but it soon will be. And just to kind of try to remain positive and know that your good is coming to you. This is making room and making space for something that's going to be more in alignment with you. And if you've kind of had to say goodbye to anyone or anything recently, or very soon will, know that you dodged a bullet. I'm really feeling that with this energy. Just like know you dodged a bullet and that this is actually going in your favor. So I hope this has been helpful for you folks. If you need help with your specific situation, please feel free to check out my Etsy shop. The link is in the description below. And I am wishing y'all the best and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.